私はバーチャテニス
Hello, my name is Mie Kumagai. I am the executive producer on Virtua Tennis 4.
今回、そうですね
One of the most obvious new features is for the PlayStation 3, which is fully 3D supported, so you can experience the game in full 3D. Also on the motion play side of things, it's supporting PlayStation Move, 360 Kinect and Wii Motion Plus. So with these features, there's a whole new experience of Virtua Tennis that users can get their hands on. So one of the massive challenges we had when trying to decide the direction of the motion play side of things was actually the way the camera angles worked within motion play. Obviously, Virtua Tennis has various licensed players, and it aims to deliver an experience to the user that feels like they're selected real-life player. But at the same time, with motion play involved, we need to make it as immersive as possible. So after a lot of trial and error and adjustment and discussion, it's ended up with what it is now, where you are waiting for a shot, it will pan out to a third-person view, so you can see your chosen character, whether it's Federer or Nadal or Murray, and when it's your turn to take a shot, when you step in, it will go into first-person view, so users can totally immerse themselves. I wasn't at all concerned with anything regarding the level of accuracy that the various devices have. You mentioned that Topspin doesn't support Kinect. That was a choice that they made, I'm sure for very good reasons. With regard to Virtua Tennis 4, the team looked at what kind of data was output from Kinect and thought hard about how they could really utilise that to full effect to suit the game. And they have achieved that, and the game works very well with Kinect as well. So one of the major things I've gained from working on Virtua Tennis for over a decade now starts off from the concerns from making Virtua Tennis 1. At that time, we wondered how much more we can do with a sports game or a tennis game, and I'm sure other sports game developers might be feeling the same. But I found that VT has progressed and grown hand in hand with technology, first on the Dreamcast, where you could have the first 3D polygon tennis game that looked very impressive, and more recently it's moved on to HD and 3D TV. So I feel very fortunate to have these new technologies to use as tools of expression for the game and inspiration for new features and ideas that we can implement.
In
terms of sports games becoming more casual, what we are always trying to keep in mind, and the golden rule we try to stick to, is to provide something that is easy to pick up and play and have a good experience with, while on the other hand having the depth and volume for a lot of replayability and a lot of room for progression and levelling up. That could be seen as a more hardcore aspect. So hardcore gamers may hold Virtua Tennis in high regard as a hardcore game, but forget that it's actually very accessible as well. The control system is very simple, but there is still a lot of room for your skill to improve in the game. So we always strive to achieve a perfect balance between the two when we make every title in the series, and we will continue to do so. In terms of Virtua Tennis, it's already proven to have worked well for over a decade, and we should expect to have a few more years left to come with the series. But I think that for tennis games in general, there is room for both hardcore and casual titles. In terms of Japanese games being in decline as a whole, it might be to do with the game genres that Japanese developers use. There may be genres that they aren't used to or aren't skilled at making, and it might be that it's these that have a more worldwide appeal at the moment. Certainly, there is room for improvement and room to rethink and revisit different approaches to appeal to that audience, and not just focusing on the Japanese audience. That only really applies to the home console games. With regard to games as a whole, and not just in Japan, if you look at things like mobile gaming, games for the iPhone and other portable devices, and with different platforms coming out, there are a lot of exciting things about to happen. I think that we can expect big movement in Japan as well, with new creators coming onto the scene and new ideas and new innovations in game design, and I look forward to those times to come.